Hear your war cry. Oh, if you're not excited about today, boy, I don't know what's going to do it for you because today's a good day. We just weathered ourselves a hurricane down here and we're excited to be alive. Thank God for this beautiful day that you gave us. Kind of skirted around that one and we got lucky on that hurricane. But you know what? There's going to be more behind it. So we just got to continue to stay vigilant and keep our P's and Q's strapped down, if you know what I mean. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I just want to tell you thank you so much for tuning in. We're in our eighth week, episode 8 of Beating Cancer Today. We're still here. We're going to continue to grow our audience and broadcast. We're broadcasting actually now on 9 different social media platforms. So make sure that you keep an eye out for us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Rumble, Telegram, True Social, Twitch, Kick. Some of these platforms are not as friendly as others, right? So we're having a little bit of a problem getting all the videos loaded up, and some channels have censored us. You know, YouTube kind of took a couple down, but no big deal. Nothing lost because where you can't find it one place, you can find it another place. And we're going to try to continue to get this message out there without being censored. Keep a close eye out on our Facebook page, the group page, Beating Cancer Today, for real-time Q&A articles. You could go on there, ask your questions, hopefully get answers from people that are participating on there. There's videos, clinical publications, articles, a whole bunch of information that is there for you guys to research and kind of a hub that you could go to for some information. Another great place is also Beating Cancer Today is a good place. That's our group page, and My Cancer Story Rocks, Joe Tippin's group page. That's really great. It's a great resource for people. Folks, our network just continues to grow, and I ask that you keep spreading the word, subscribe to our pages, pass this message along, share the videos with other people. When you send this stuff to your friends, ask your friends to share it with their friends. Somebody's got cancer in everybody's life. Everybody's life has somebody in it with some tragedy, right? There's sick people everywhere, you know. So I just want to make sure that we're doing our part to get this message out as widespread as we can make it. Just remember that I'm not a doctor. I have no medical or biological or science or any type of cancer training whatsoever. I'm just a United States Marine, and I got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, colorectal cancer, and it spread throughout my body, and I didn't want to die. You know, I just wanted to stay alive. So I decided to do my own due diligence, and if everybody's just practicing medicine, and I'm the only one with skin in the game here, I decided to go ahead and be my own advocate and raise my voice. You know, and that's what I'm hoping that this message gets out to all of you guys. And I'm hoping that you all share that same warrior type mentality where you speak up for yourself. Be your own voice, be heard. You know, cancer is the second leading cause of mortality in the world. Over 10 million new patients are diagnosed with cancer annually, um, with over 6 million associated deaths. You know, this is annually. I don't even know how current these statistics are, but you know, there's 10 million people diagnosed, 6 million people dead annually. It represents roughly 12% of worldwide mortality. The occurrence of new cancer cases is expected to grow by 70% over the next 20 years. 70%. We're not getting better at this. We're actually Moffitt Cancer Center, where I go, they actually just expanded. They're all over the place, and they say that that's to better serve the patients that they're treating, and that's awesome. But folks, we're not getting better. at this. We're actually putting in fast pass lines, express lanes. We're actually not trying to get better. We're just trying to get more efficient at making the money on it. So that's an issue. We have an issue. More than 47% of current anti-cancer drugs on the market are natural products. They're derivatives or natural products, synthetic mimics, and more than 25,000 identify the phytochemicals that have been shown to process potent anti-cancer activities. All right, so 25,000 of those have been shown to possess potential anti-cancer activities. Yet we're not exploring those. We're just putting in express lanes to the treatment centers that we have now. If you've been tuning in or looking through any of our platforms, you know that my tried and proven cancer cocktail consists of five ingredients, the fenbendazole, the cimetidine, the AHCC, the curcumin, and annatto. All right. These are the 5 ingredients to my personal cancer cocktail that I take. And also, I know hundreds, probably growing into thousands of other people that are taking the exact ingredients that I'm taking, and they've all had positive results with it. The important part is to be aggressive, jump in on this and don't waste any more time. The more time you waste, the more life that cancer gets. The more time you waste, the more grasp the cancer gets a hold of you. The ingredients of my cancer cocktail were selected based on the personal testimony of survivors, clinical evidence that was available to me both online and through publications, clinical trials and or research, publications from a major cancer institution. All of these ingredients they're accompanied with some credibility, from the major cancer institutions. Oh, and not to mention, it worked for me as well as hundreds of people that I've personally been in contact with. So, that's really where it comes into play. When you get the personal testimony from other people, that kind of trumps a lot of the stuff, the publications that you're going to read online, because you really don't know what to believe. You really don't know what to believe, what you see online or on the news or whatever. I don't believe anything anymore. In this world that we live in today, it's pretty insane. So you got to talk to people. You got to talk to people and network. And that's why I built this platform. So hopefully you guys start interacting. If you have an idea for an episode that you want to review, or heck, if you just want to come on an episode and share your story, reach out to me, and we'll go ahead and we'll get an interview started, and we'll post it. Listen, I'm not the end all be all. I'm just a guy who is trying to be a voice. So your search should not stop with this Beating Cancer Today group page. Your search should not end here. I do believe that this cocktail that I put together is effective, and I do believe that it's working, and I do believe that it's working for a lot of other people. I get testimony every day. People contact me, email me every single day. Do not be afraid to reach out to me. beatingcancertoday@gmail.com. I'll answer your emails. You could post your questions on the Facebook group page platform, and hopefully you'll get some dialogue from other people that chime in with their experience as well. Okay. Although it's been proven to work for me and so many others, my cancer cocktail is not the end all be all. All right. There are plenty of other protocols that have been proven to work. Joe Tippin's protocol is the incredible protocol that I actually kind of started. That's kind of what started this deep dive for me. you know, the incredible one with the greatest results for thousands of people. Joe Tippins has touched so many people's lives and brought so much spotlight onto this cancer research stuff. So you could read all about his journey on My Cancer Story Rocks. That's a great resource of information. I personally am on there all the time. It's a great resource of information. It's got an incredible network of people. So if you haven't already, make sure you check that out. It's My Cancer Story Rocks, and they have a great platform, and it's constant dialogue, people asking questions, people answering. It's really, I'm not here to promote other people's, uh, you know, situation, but you know what? It's been great for me. So if you haven't already, check that out. Friends, I have openly said in previous episodes that the cocktail that I settled on as my primary 5 ingredients are not the only effective cancer combatants in the world. There are plenty of other things that have been proven to work. They've been proven to work and to be effective in the battle against cancer. So, my eh, the the 5 ingredients that ended up working for me and so many other people, it's not the end all be all. All right. So I personally have discussed it on previous episodes. I actually have a backup cocktail. I have a backup cocktail in the event that this cocktail stops working. I I remain vigilant. I remain vigilant. I don't want to die. So I actually have a backup cocktail that I continue to do research for, and I continue to dial it in and tweak it, because in the event that this cocktail ever stops working, I want to know that I'm safe. So there's other stuff that works out there. If you don't settle in on the 5 ingredients that I've come up with, if that doesn't seem to jive for you, tweak it accordingly. Do your own research. At the end of the day, the only person that you're gonna have to be accountable to is yourself. So you got to be comfortable with what you're doing, and you have to believe in it. I wholeheartedly believe that the cocktail that I am using, that the 5 ingredients that I put together, are effective. They complement each other, and it's what got me healthy, and so many other people. So, but when you go to find um, supporting evidence, and when you go to find supporting evidence of these things that combat cancer, there isn't much out there. So in today's episode, I would like to talk explore a little bit, um, a couple things that I considered to be in my backup protocol. These are things that I was going through, that I was trying to evaluate to get more information on, so I could determine as to whether I wanted to put them in my backup protocol. You know, um, but when I went to dig deeper, there's just some red flags that deterred me. Not to say that these things didn't work, but in order for me to lock them into the starting lineup, I need some sort of clinical evidence. You know, just something a little bit more convincing. All right, so let's just take a couple things off the top of my head that I was considering to put into my backup cocktail, right? I mean, the 5 ingredients that are in my primary cocktail have already been proven, tried and proven for me and so many other people. Fembendazole, cimetidine, AHCC, active hectose correlated compound, curcumin, the annatto. Those 5 ingredients have been proven to change my life, get me healthy, and also impact so many other people's lives. Uh, but I do still remain vigilant, and I'm always looking for other things, alternative things that will fill the void in the event that my current cocktail fails me. Right? Um, let's go with soursop. Soursop was a really really convincing one, and I, I'm I really enjoyed actually looking at that, digging deeper and deeper into it. I saw more and more things that it could be effective for. Looking back through my research notes, soursop was pretty high on my list based on all of the gossip and discussions on all of the forums. Um, Everybody talked about it. At that time, I think I kind of feel like there's trends. Like people talk about something for a while and it fades out, and then people talk about something else for a while and it fades out. So at the time when I was doing my research, soursop was like a very trendy thing, and a lot of people were discussing it, and it just really kind of seemed like it was going to take some growth there. Um, but it was pretty high up on my list. All the people talking about it and everything. But when I dug deeper, there was really nobody who would give me specific testimony from their personal experience. Now I told you, I I could do my due diligence, and I dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and I start getting more and more information. But until I can find somebody to validate that information, I don't really put too much weight into it. For every one study that you show me that says that it's going to be the miracle drug, I'll show you 10 studies that contradict that. So opinions, they're just everywhere, right? So until you speak to somebody and get personal testimony, I wouldn't take one person. I would take several people. Um, so I started to look online for some information that would support the soursop theory being um, the 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 ingredient that should make the starting lineup. Surprisingly, it was easier said than done. Graviola is actually the name of soursop. It's a graviola tree, and the leaves come off of it, and blah 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 blah. So graviola is actually um, the technical name of soursop. So if you're doing your research, you might see graviola, you might see soursop. It's the same stuff. It comes from same tree, same thing, right? It's promoted as an alternative cancer treatment. Like everything that you read says that it's alternative cancer treatment. There's not enough reliable evidence that graviola works as a treatment for cancer. No matter what you see, and no matter what literature you find, there's not going to be evidence that graviola works as a treatment for cancer. It's understandable that you might think that you want to try anything, um, if you think that it might help cure your cancer. Only you could decide, excuse me, whether to use an alternative cancer therapy or not. You know, um, you could harm your health. And that's not what you're trying to do. When I was looking for all this stuff, I wasn't trying to commit suicide. I was trying to extend my life a little bit, and I wasn't trying to beat cancer. I was just trying to stay alive long enough for somebody to figure this out. You don't have to beat cancer. You know, you just have to stay alive long enough for somebody to get this thing figured out. There was a boy and a horse, and they were running into the forest. The boy's riding on the horse, and he's running into the forest, and they come to the tree line, and the horse stops. The boy stops the horse, pulls the reins back, stops the horse, and the horse says, "What's wrong?" And the boy says, "Oh, it's thick in there. Can't see anything in there. It's too brush is too thick. We can't go. I can't see my way through. I can't see my way through." And the horse says, "Can you see the next step?" And the boy says, "Yeah, I can see the next step." And the horse says, "Well, then just take that. That next step is the only thing you need to take." Right? So you don't want to hurt yourself, but you do want to be responsible with your research, right? Many websites promote graviola as a cure for cancer. All right. But no reputable scientific cancer organizations support any of these claims. In fact, Memorial Sloan Kettering website, there's actually an indication that specifically says soursop, there's no proof that this therapy has benefits for cancer patients. seems like there's a lot of literature to the contrary that says that soursop doesn't work, right? On the surface of things, when you start looking, it says, soursop's, it's not true. It's not true. Don't believe the hype, this and that. On the surface of things, where you dig and dig and dig. But folks, this is where it's important to be vigilant with your search. As I said, on the surface of things, there seems to be pre-constructed walls or barriers in the search engines that steer the average search in a completely different direction. This is what I found, right? There are like pre-constructed walls in place that steer your searches and provide you with the answers that you're looking for, not the answers that you need. According to the National Library of Medicine, in the national, I mean, it's a pretty reputable source. All right. The National Library of Medicine in the National Center for Biotechnology Information. All right. They published soursop has been clinically proven in several venues to be effective in various cancers. I'm just going to I'm reading what they published. The soursop plant produces, it's a big word, acetogenins, acetogenins. The soursop plant produces acetogenins that exhibit cytotoxic activity against cancer cells and have special affinities for some resistant cells. The acetogenins that the soursop produces are cytotoxic against several cancer and tumor cells, such as pancreatic cancer cells, lung cancer cells, colon cancer cells, lung, cervical, and pancreatic tumors. So I feel like this is clinical evidence, right? They also have the publications of the trials. They also, I mean, all this stuff is available to you. All right. And these are facts. These are absolute facts. Okay. So the reality is, for every publication that you find that says one thing, I'll show you 10 that say to the contrary. For that reason, I find enough information that convinces me that this is a credible thing. And then I find a human testimony to validate that. I don't go for the human testimony until I find some sort of evidence clinically published in writing from a reputable institution that says that it's true. And then I'll find a human to give me testimony and to corroborate the fact that this thing works. That's how I do my picking. All right. Without every element being met, I can't consider it to be a viable option. In this case, soursop could prove to be a viable option. But initially on a search, on the surface of things, everything in some of the Memorial Sloan Kettering, that's a huge reputable place, right? And one of the top cancer institutions in the country. They turn their nose up at it, right? So I can't help but to think that if you break through the initial barriers that you find, you could find information out there to the contrary that'll show you that there's a reason to continue your research on that particular drug. And the way that you continue the research is to find people to give you personal testimony of it. All right. RSO, Rick Simpson oil. That's another one. Boy, I'll tell you, I tried. I heard so many miracles about the Rick Simpson oil. I did try to take it. I honestly did. Full disclosure, when I was at my sickest point, they told me that they were going to stop my treatment if I lost any more weight. And at that point, I was so terrified of somebody else giving up on me that I told my wife, I said, listen, I know this is not something that we do, but it's something that I need to do. And I mean, I smoked weed when I was a kid, I think like once or twice when I was in high school, but I was never really big into it. In fact, my entire adult life, I was pretty against it, really. But when they told me they were going to stop my treatment, I didn't care what I had to do to get some marijuana into my system. But the only thing that I could think about is I need to eat, I need to gain weight, I need to get back in the game. All these other treatments pushed me out of the game and they got me feeling like I was a victim, and I felt like a victim because I'm not eating, I'm not doing like I'm weak. So, THC, marijuana, did play a role in my recovery. I mean, it got me to eat. It kept me from being nauseous. It helped me sleep when I couldn't sleep. So there is a place, right? There is a place for it. And I thank God I had marijuana. Never thought I'd say that, but thank God I did because it really put me where I needed to get the strength to get better. I couldn't even get to a zero level. I was in the negatives. I couldn't even get to zero level. Marijuana actually put me on the same playing field as anybody else who was fighting. So it at least got me into the game. What I did from there was up to me. But marijuana did play a role in my recovery. RSO, the Rick Simpson oil, it's an oil extract of marijuana. All right. So it was developed by a Canadian man named Rick Simpson, hence Rick Simpson oil, RSO. RSO has been theorized to help people in their battle with cancer, in conjunction with other therapies. There's evidence that cannabis oil contains THC, and that can help with side effects from Eastern medicine. That's what I was talking about with the loss of appetite and aches and pains and sleeping and this and that. But research has not shown that RSO or other forms of cannabis oil can directly treat cancer in humans. No research on that, right? Maybe. Research on animals has shown that THC can potentially stop the growth of tumors, may even kill off some cancer cells. Although there's not an immense amount of direct evidence, RSO has also been shown to be effective with treating other conditions. These other conditions, that's what I was talking about. The sleep, the lack of sleep, or inability to sleep. The appetite, the stress, the aches and pain. I mean, everything. It really did do so many things for me. That all seems to be side effects. It all seems to be side effects of Eastern medicine treatment. All these things that happen from taking the Eastern medicine. You get nauseous. Oh, marijuana cures that. You get aches and pains. Oh, marijuana cures that. So RSO has been shown to be more effective in the recovery stages or in the stages to combat all of the Eastern medicine side effects, right? But people still are saying that it has a positive scientific effect on cancer, right? So I personally tried to take the Rick Simpson oil. I told you that. I may just be such a lightweight, but I was unable to take the recommended dose. Every time I tried to do it, I would fall asleep. I would lose a couple days. I mean, I would take like just the smallest little smidge, the smallest little amount, and I would lose a few days. Like it would, maybe I'm just lightweight. I don't know. But so I can't tell you from personal experience of how it affects you because I couldn't do the RSO. It was just too strong for me. I couldn't build up to the recommended dosage. Like you're supposed to build your tolerance level. I couldn't get that high. Like, well, no pun intended. I couldn't raise my tolerance level to the recommended dosage. So I ended up just tapping out. I couldn't do it. I couldn't tell you from personal experience, but the research that I did was not as supportive as a personal testimony. People that I talked to swore by it. However, maybe those people are just high. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to turn my nose up at anything, but I just couldn't find anything that showed it initially, right? And then another study published in the National Library of Medicine entitled "Cannabis Extract." I'm just going to read it right off the thing. Cannabis extract treatment for terminal acute lymphoblastic leukemia with Philadelphia chromosome mutation. They did a clinical trial on that. The RSO appeared to help reduce the child's. Oh, this isn't in a child, by the way. The RSO appeared to help reduce the child's specific type of cancer. However, she passed away from unrelated complications, making it difficult to assess the RSO's long-term effectiveness. So, in short, the exploration of the effectiveness for RSO was inconclusive. I've searched high and low for credible evidence that would support RSO being a viable option. I want it to be a viable option. I mean, it's kind of a fun thing to take, but more so, I hear so many personal testimonies that support this, but nobody that gives me specific information about their personal testimony. They just say, "Yeah, I took it. It worked." How? What happened? Elaborate a little bit, right? So, listen, folks, if you guys, if there's anybody out there who has information about RSO and a personal testimony that could tell me that it works, I'm open. I'm open. I encourage you to reach out or post something about it on one of these platforms, just so the information could be out there. I haven't been able to find anything that's overwhelmingly convincing from a medical resource of any kind. In fact, the same publication indicated that from the National Institute, the same publication indicated that and I'll read it. It is important to note that there is a little evidence to suggest RSO directly cures cancer, so patients are advised to continue the recommended medical treatment. Don't quit your Eastern medicine while you're experimenting on what else to take. That's a bad move. The chemo and radiation, that might not be all great for you, okay, but it's keeping you alive for now. So I would encourage everybody to not abandon Eastern medicine, but maybe just understand that there's other avenues, right? I really wanted RSO to be the real deal. It's something that could be incorporated into a treatment plan, but I'm going to need more evidence to convince me. So if you guys have any input, please feel free to post it on this platform or shoot me an email. All right. Shoot me an email at beatingcancertoday@gmail.com. I'll answer your emails. I answer like 200 a week. Shoot me an email. I'm getting responses from all over the globe. It's incredible. India, New Zealand, Norway, the UK, Middle East, everywhere. It's incredible. All right. Just shoot me an email. I'll respond to it. Okay. beatingcancertoday@gmail.com. Another thing I wanted to explore was mistletoe. Mistletoe was introduced in the treatment of cancer in 1917. Mistletoe has been being explored for the treatment of cancer since 1917. Today's extracts for the plant used in cancer therapy are mainly as injections. So they've gotten this plant and they've whittled it down over the last 110, 15 years, right? So they've whittled it down and they've got it into an injection. And it's been proven to have cytotoxic effects. Another reference from the National Library of Medicine. Mistletoe has low toxicity and no fatal side effects have ever been reported. More than 40 clinical studies have been carried out, and most of the studies claim that mistletoe has a positive effect, but were of poor methodological design. So it's of poor methodological design. Methodical. So the way it travels through you, um, in the way that it enters into you, I guess. The design of that is what I translate that into. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but the design of methodological design, they said that that was a poor design. Um, Therefore, in light of our own positive experiences, we recommend and randomized multi-centered studies to evaluate the effect of mistletoe in cancer treatment. That was their publication, right? That was their published results, right? So in short, mistletoe has shown promising effects against combating cancer ever since the year 1917, but they never followed up on it. Nobody's talking about it. It's not a conversation anymore. Really, after all the research that I've done, that I've conducted over the years, I found that there are plenty of studies about repurposing or homeopathic approaches, indicating positive results, if not a better, but for some reason these case studies never came to fruition and remained dead in the water, like as if they were frozen in time, like in a time capsule. They were positive. They all produced positive results. They defunded them and they never spoke of it again. It's important to stay on task while you're doing your research. Listen, it could be lost. It could be easy to get lost down a rabbit hole. Weigh out the clinical evidence that you're able to find about specific options. If the scale tips, towards the possibility, then start talking to survivors and start talking to people that are willing to give you personal testimony about their experience. But if it tips the other way, you got some more work to do, all right, before you talk to those survivors. Just remember that somewhere along the line, you're going to have to make a decision here. You're going to have to pull the trigger on something, all right, and stick to that decision long enough to get your comparable results to your baseline testing. It's vitally important to stay strict with your dosing regimen and your daily routine, or else you're not going to be able to take the finished product and compare it back to your starting baseline. Um, I can't say enough because I believe that it's equally as important as the medication that you decide to take. This battle will be near impossible for you to win without creating a proper support system around you and without you being disciplined in your regimen. Imagine being tasked with selecting a team to accompany you into battle in a near certain death situation. Excuse me. It reminds me of in the Marine Corps when your platoon sergeant will come out and say, Kevin, gather up these people, gather up a group of people and get in there and fight. Get in there. Take that hill. Do whatever, right? Whatever your mission is. Well, when you're selecting these people, you know that these people are the only thing that are going to bring you home to your family and your loved ones, right? So each person that you select must obtain, they must possess a specific set of skills that's unique to what they offer in your support circle. A wise man, a nurturer, someone for emotional support, someone with knowledge of medical information, terminology, someone with a competitive edge, that abrasive guy, the one that just gives you that oomph, the fight, the edge. Someone for spiritual guidance, who's going to keep you centered, someone who's going to help you snap out of it when you get too deep into your head. You know, I mean, these are people that you want in your support system. Whenever you get too far into your head, you need somebody to snap you out of it. You know, we all fall victim to that. Everybody serves their own purpose. And collectively, the group of warriors that you're selecting will ultimately assist you in building the gladiator that you need to be. As we approach the end of this broadcast, we're kind of running on. Just think that it's worth asking, what have you done today? What have you done today? Get excited about something. What have you done today that's going to make you more valuable and stronger than what you were yesterday? Have you looked around? Open your eyes. Open your eyes and appreciate every gift that you woke up to today. I'm telling you, folks, I walked outside and I just, right after a hurricane, ha, it's beautiful. I could smell it. I could smell health. It's awesome. I feel like I got the Holy Spirit running through me. It's just a breath of fresh air. You're not a statistic. Folks, you're not a statistic and you're not a victim. Remember, you got to get out of your head. Change the narrative. Change the narrative. If you want to change the outcome, if you're expecting a different outcome, change the narrative. All right. You're not a statistic. There's no mathematical equation that can account for the intestinal fortitude that has been instilled inside of you since birth. So many times I've heard people say that adversity builds character. Don't worry, it'll build character. And the struggle that you're going through makes you a better person. No way, Jose. Absolutely not. I got to argue with that. Adversity does not build character. Adversity reveals the character that's already inside of you. It's been instilled inside of you since you were little. Who are you? When was the last time you stood up, held your head up high, and declared in a strong command voice who you are? I'm Kevin. I'm a United States Marine, and I'm here to beat it. I'm here to beat this battle. I will prevail. If cancer was easy, everybody would do it. If cancer was easy, everybody would survive. God only sends his strongest warriors into the toughest battles.